like my school because it is very colorful. My favorite subject is art because I can draw and color new things. I like school because my teachers are caring. They take good care of me and make me feel safe. I like to come to school because I can use iPads and computers during lessons. We can get to play and learn at the same time. My favorite subject is science because I can do experiments and I can understand how things work.
My most memorable experience will be to juggle both sports and studies with my best friend. You might think I'm crazy, but the tough times are the ones that you remember the most. After school, my best friend and I would rush for lunch and then come over to the library here to finish our homework, and then we will catch the bus for training. On the bus, we will continue doing our homework. It was definitely tough, but then I had my best friend with me, so these memories were unforgettable.
I wanted to be a prefect because I wanted to be a role model to my fellow peers, and I also wanted to learn how to work with others who might have drastically different views and opinions about different subjects or topics. From becoming the head prefect, I've learned that it's not just about holding the title and enjoying the glory of being one. Instead, it is about acting as a bridge between my fellow peers and the teachers, and being there for them when they're in need.
I'm Mr. Chia. For those of you who are not aware, I was actually a former student from Sembawang Primary School. Coming back to Sembawang Primary School was really heartwarming, seeing my teachers then become my colleagues today. Over the years, I've seen Sembawang Primary School grow as I live nearby. When I was here as a student, it was merely a 4-story building. We didn't have an ISH, and today it has grown to a 7-story building. And with ISH, MPH, with the eco pond, with all the habitat tanks, and the rooftop garden even. Learning is really more exciting today. I've seen how lessons have evolved, and it is really interesting to see the spark in the students' eyes as they learn in today's lessons as well.
I like English lesson because we can learn to do drama. I like health lesson because we can play different kind of games and learn different kind of things. I really like music lessons because I can play the ukulele and the keyboard. I like PE because we get to learn sports such as badminton and soccer. And we also get to learn how to dance during PE lessons.
Throughout my entire journey in Sembawang Primary, there were many highlights such as the P4 Adventure Camp, the opportunity to take part in Destination Imagination, as well as my times as an athlete in the track and field school team. My most memorable experience, however, would have to be the Primary 5 overseas learning journey. It was truly an authentic and enriching experience. It was also made better by the teachers who were alongside to guide us into thinking critically and to be a global citizen. It was also through this experience where I got to broaden my horizons and immerse myself in an entire different culture. This overseas trip also served as an opportunity for myself to bond with my classmates as we learned to care and look out for one another. Overall, this experience was truly enjoyable and it has nurtured me as a learner and a student.
I like my CCA because it is interesting and I can perform on stage. I like to dance and I like dancing with my friends.
I think the most memorable experience I had in Sembawang Primary School was the graduation ceremony last year, because after being together for so many years and having gone through a lot as one, it was really hard to imagine parting ways with them. After the ceremony itself, we stayed back for a while to share about the good old times, and some of us even cried. It really was a memory to cherish.
Very good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sembawang Primary E-Open House. Thank you very much for taking the time to join us this morning. I'm Ratna, the year head for Lower Primary. We are happy to share highlights of the school's key programs and answer queries that you might have about the school. We have a panel this morning comprising the school principal, Mrs. Grace Chua, and key personnel to engage you this morning. We are also delighted that a parent from the Parent Support Group is here with us to offer her perspective to the discussion. And last but not least, we have our head prefect, Kwek Seng Yi, who has joined the panel to represent the students. We encourage you to post your queries and we strive to answer you to the best of our ability. As this is an open forum to benefit everyone who has joined the session, we appeal to you to remain respectful to the intent of the session. Subject matters leading to the discrimination of any form will not be addressed at this platform. We also seek your understanding that we may not be able to answer all the queries given the time frame of the session, but we seek to respond to them thereafter through the School E-Open House website. In any case, we would be happy to engage you beyond this platform, so do feel free to contact us. Let's begin the session with an introduction of the panel members. Mrs. Grace Chua, Principal of the school. Mrs. Rina Pang, Head of Department for Mathematics. Ms. Tiffany Chong, Head of Department for Character and Citizenship Education. Madam Tina, Member of the Parent Support Group. And Kwek Seng Yi, Head Prefect of the school. Before we take on your questions for discussion, let's hear from Mrs. Chua as she takes you through the school's unique offerings to our students. Mrs. Chua, please.
Thanks, Ratna. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our E-Open House and Live Chat 2021. This is the second year we are hosting a live chat. What is new this year is we have invited a student representative to be on the panel. This morning, we have Kwek Seng Yi, our elected head prefect, with us. Seng Yi will be sharing with you his schooling experiences in Sembawang Primary School. In Sembawang Primary, we believe in providing a holistic education to help every child discover joy of learning in a safe and caring environment. Our mission is nurturing innovators in a vibrant community, and the word nurturing signifies a continuous process. We nurture innovators in a vibrant community through cultivating a growth mindset in our students and staff, designing learning experiences and spaces that encourage exploration and empower learners' voices, providing holistic education with innovative and effective pedagogies, building quality relationship with our students, staff, stakeholders, and community. Just to elaborate, in empowering learners' voice, we create platform for our students to showcase their interests and talents. Our head prefect is elected by the student body. And student facilitating, we have platform that allow students to facilitate Be the Change program and anti-bully campaign. After the live chat, I encourage you to visit our website and to join in the interactive virtual school tour led by Madam Tina, who is present this morning with her daughter Ruby. They will show you our vibrant school facilities. We look forward to engaging you through this live chat. And let me go on to share with you what are the school's distinctive program. Sembawang Primary has two main distinctive programs: Applied Learning Program, or what we call ALP, in nurturing green citizens and leaders through environmental studies, and Learning for Life Program, and what we call LLP, is nurturing self, community, and peer leaders. I will share on ALP while Ms. Chong will cover LLP. Through our ALP, we aim to strengthen students' mastery of concept and process skills under the primary science syllabus. And number two is to develop a community of environmental citizens who adopt an environmentally responsible lifestyles and are advocates of environmental conservation. Students are given the opportunities to learn beyond the classroom and apply their understanding to solve real-life environmental issues. Selected students are also appointed as green leaders to advocate environmental conservation efforts in the school and the community. Our students also share with members of the public on the importance of environmental issues and help to impart the message of environmental conservation. Several learning spaces have also set up to enrich students' learning in environmental studies. These include our Eco Pond with inverted aquarium, solar-powered water features, our Zero Waste Hub, upcycling green wall, and habitat tanks.
And our Learning for Life program is nurturing self-leaders, community leaders, and peers leaders who advocate and effect positive changes. So we aim to develop our students to be self-leaders by inculcating in them a positive mindset, the right values, and social and emotional competencies. So anchoring on growth mindset principles, we have a growth mindset curriculum as part of our character education to build self-leadership in every student and help them progress towards their goals. Beyond developing self-leadership in our students, we aim to empower our group of student leaders to advocate and effect positive changes. We provide learning experiences that empower students' voices. For example, as part of the P5 leadership training, student leaders are encouraged to give feedback on their school experiences and effect positive changes through recommendations to the school management. Through such a training, our student leaders develop agency, self-directedness, and leadership competencies. So at this juncture, allow me to introduce Seng Yi to share with you about his journey as a student leader in our school.
Being a student leader will mean that I have more responsibilities, but I think that the teachers are understanding and they will not give you so much work that you cannot cope with your studies. The prefects also work closely as a team. Recently, we worked with the school to implement a feedback box to better understand the needs and the wants of the students. And we can see what are the ideas that can be implemented. Mainly, I think that a leader is to serve and not to command people around or just to catch naughty classmates, but rather to work together with the students and the school on how our school can constantly improve and can be in a better environment for everyone and the future students that come in.
Okay, thank you, Seng Yi. I hope that his sharing from a student's perspective gave you a more holistic view of how we empower our students to lead and affect positive changes in the school. So in addition, we also have 4 Students by Students initiative, where students are given opportunity to create awareness and promote positive school culture to their peers. Student leaders and ambassadors take on an active role to advocate to their peers on key messages centering on topics such as peer support, cyber wellness, and care for the environment. So platforms are created for them to apply their knowledge, values, and competencies that they have acquired and share it with their friends. So these 4 Students by Students initiatives are one of the many ways which we empower our students and their voices are heard in the school.
Thank you, Mrs. Chua, Ms. Chong, and Seng Yi for the insights on the school applied learning program as well as the lifelong learning program. Let us move on to how the culture of care is established in the school. Perhaps, Mrs. Chua, may I invite you to elaborate on this?
Sure. Creating a culture of care is built on our school philosophy. We believe in providing a holistic education to help every child discover joy of learning in a safe and caring environment. The two-pillar key to creating a culture of care is in our school lies in embracing a growth mindset and in building quality relationship. Ms. Chong will elaborate on how we help our students build quality relationship.
Yes. So we create our culture of care by building strong teacher-student relationship and peer relationship among students. So to build strong teacher-student relationship, for every class, there are 2 form teachers, and the teachers spend time with students to build positive relationship with them and to understand them better. So we set aside time in the morning for form teachers to have one-to-one conversations with students. During these conversations, teachers learn more about the child, their likes, fears, or what are the challenges that they are facing. So with the better understanding of the child, teachers will then be able to better support them in their learning and to develop them holistically. In terms of peer support and relationship, there is form teacher guidance period, in short, FTGP lesson, every week conducted by both form teachers. So during these lessons, there are interaction activities for class bonding and to foster teamwork and friendships among students. And within each class, there will be a group of students who are selected to support their classmates for daily classroom routine. For instance, the class leader, ICT leader, PE leader, and the green monitor. For this year, we have also started the appointment of SBPS Psle in the middle primary, and they are P3 and P4. So these students are our peer support leaders who proactively look out for their classmates to help them or to support them if they think that their classmates are facing any difficulties. So with this structure in place, it enables the class to build teamwork and foster friendship as they learn to help and support one another, creating a positive classroom culture. We have also conducted surveys and focus group discussions with our students to find out about how they feel about the school. And all our students agree that they have caring teachers. With the positive relationships between teacher and students and amongst the students, schooling experience is an enjoyable one for the children in Sembawang Primary School. So perhaps it is also apt for me to now direct to Seng Yi to share his perspective on the culture of care in the school.
I think that the teachers are always very willing to help students when they need help. Sometimes the teacher conduct remedial lessons with those students after school if they need help in their studies. Sometimes they also stay back after school on extra days to coach them whenever necessary. Some teachers even give us their personal phone numbers so that we can contact them when we need help.
Thank you, Seng Yi, for sharing. We hope that with our sharing, you have a clearer picture of the culture of care in Sembawang Primary School.
Thank you very much, everyone, for that response. There is a question with regards to support during recess and whether parents could come in. Perhaps I'll just take on this question. You are highly encouraged to join the Psg, who's overseeing the duties of parents who help out during recess. The parent volunteers are here to help all the students to ensure safe play during recess and not to specifically help your own child. So your P1 child will be further supported by student buddies in the first week in school. Now, most of the P1s, if not all, will be able to learn how to select and buy their own food rather quickly. So no worries about the children settling in. Okay, we have a next question, which is on programs that actually stretch the higher ability students. So may I invite Mrs. Pang to actually share her thoughts on this? Mrs. Pang, please.
Sure. All right. In our school, we do have programs to motivate the high ability learners to reach their highest potential. Some examples are talent development programs, Olympiad training, as well as math and science E2K, which are conducted for selected students from primary 4 onwards. For English, we have the Literature Appreciation Program for the P5 high ability learners. Under this program, students learn to analyze a book at a deeper level. At the primary 4 level, Public Speaking Enrichment Program will be conducted after curriculum hours to some selected primary 4 students.
Thank you, Mrs. Pang. We have a question on how can I contribute as the Psg member. So can I invite Madam Tina to elaborate on this?
Thank you. As parents volunteer, we give teachers an extra hand in various duties and activities like recess duties, morning duties, reading program, swim safer, performances in school, and others. Parent volunteers of Sembawang Primary School are also proud to be part of creating a finer learning environment for our children. We also have Camp with Dads, which was a big success with fathers and children. Let me elaborate more on these duties. For example, recess duties. Parent volunteers help assist and maintain orderly behavior of children in the canteen and safety during playtime. This will allow teachers to take a short breather in between their scheduled lessons. For morning duties, parent volunteers help in looking out for unwell students when they come into school to keep the school a healthy and safe place. Our new program this year was introduced, and it's called the reading program. This program is titled Hi Dear, which is short for Hi, drop everything and read. We introduced it, and it was beneficial for students who wishes to improve their reading skills, whether in English or their mother tongues. Parent volunteers help give more children opportunities for one-to-one attention, as there are a limited number of teachers available to aid in the reading program. Then we have the Swim Safer. For Swim Safer, parent volunteers assist teachers in monitoring water safety during swimming lessons and ensure safety in changing out of their wet attires, moving around the swimming complex, getting on and off designated transport from school to pool and back. And also we help in the performances at school, assist in various celebrations and setting up activities for specific celebrations. I think that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Tina. We certainly appreciate the efforts of all our PSG members, and we strongly encourage more parents to come in and support and play a bigger role in your child by supporting the PSG. Our next question is on CCA, on co-curricular activities, whether we will be adding more programs. Mrs. Chua, would you like to elaborate on this?
Okay, before I answer the question directly, probably let me just set some context. The number of CCA and the option of CCA that is offered in the school at the present moment is actually at the optimal level, because once we have more CCA, it will mean that each CCA has less members, and therefore the kind of programs that we can organize sometimes can be limited. So with regards to badminton is actually introduced to all students through the PE curriculum. And robotics is done, through Infocom Club, as well as the coding Code for Fun programs that is offered to all students. So while we may not be offering this as a CCA, the students has an exposure to this activity through their curriculum, whether it's the Experiential Learning Week or the formal curriculum through PE. Thank you.
Okay, the next question is on literacy. If my child cannot read, how does the school support him? So maybe Rina, would you like to take on this question?
Okay. Now, do not worry. Our school has the Learning Support Program, in short we call it LSP, to assist those who have been identified to be needing more support in the area of reading at Primary 1. We have qualified and trained teachers to conduct special lessons for struggling readers. These students will be withdrawn from their classes and taught basic phonics skills to help them decode words. This assistance will continue in Primary 2, and at Primary 3 and 4, we also have programs to ensure continual assistance is rendered to the students who have been identified to be having challenges in reading.
Thank you, Rina. There is also a question on how many students are there in a class, and for lower primary and upper primary as well. Basically, for primary 1 and primary 2, there's an average of about 30 to a maximum of about 32 students per class. This will get to a bigger enrollment as the child progresses to primary 3. So at the class enrollment will look a maximum of about 40 per class. All right. So we start off with about 30 and then move on to about 40 in the upper primary. All right. Okay. There's also a question with regards to debts for life. All right. So Tina, perhaps you can take on this question.
All right. In view of the COVID situation, the school have put in place safe management measures to ensure that the school remains safe for our children and the school staff. Thus, we have temporarily halted all Psg activities, including Camp for Dads. So as the situation improves, we do hope that our Camp for Dads are able to be resumed soon. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Tina. I think the Dad's Camp was really very popular among the children, and it really built that bonding between the children and their fathers. We are really appreciative of that program. Now, there is a question with regards to the character education programs in the school. Perhaps Ms. Chong, would you like to take this up?
Yes. So at the national level, the components for character education comprise of CCE lessons in mother tongue languages, form teacher guidance period, as well as a program for active learning. So for the upper primary, we also have additional guidance modules. And in addition to these national level programs, Sembawang Primary School has also our own school-based character education programs. So let me introduce two. So the first one is Positive Minutes, and they are short sharing sessions by school leaders, teachers, or students conducted in the morning before lesson begins. So key messages of Positive Minutes are centered on values, social emotional competencies, and growth mindset. And they are reiterated during teachable moments in the classroom by teachers. So the second one I would like to introduce is growth mindset lesson. As I mentioned earlier about our growth mindset lessons that we have for the students, let me elaborate more on this. So in cultivating growth mindset, we teach our students 4 key messages, and they are: number 1, to train their brains to be better; number 2, to put in effective effort to achieve their goals; 3, to learn from mistakes; and 4, to embrace challenges. So anchoring on these key messages or principles, we aim to build self-leadership in every student, one who is self-directed and is able to make responsible decisions. So these growth mindset lessons are conducted by form teachers who monitor students' holistic development throughout the year.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Chong. There is a question with regards to students with learning challenges and how does the school help such students. As mentioned by my colleague earlier, we have various programs to support our students. We have the Learning Support Program, which is at the lower primary, learning support for English as well as mathematics. And then subsequently, we also have a program in the middle primary, which is the RRP and the SDR. Now, we also have got the support of our allied educators who may be able to support your child should your child require any other support. For children with challenges, it is best for parents to actually work with the school and actually come forth and discuss with the teacher so that we can actually plan something for the students so that we can address the needs of the students. Maybe may I just invite Mrs. Pang, if you have anything to add on with regard to supporting children who may face challenges.
Maybe I'll add on to giving additional assistance for math lessons. So like what Ms. Ratna has mentioned, we do have a learning support for mathematics for the primary 1 and primary 2. And as they progress to primary 3 and 4, we have our I CAN teachers. Okay, they are trained to give more support to these slower learners, okay, in mathematics. And at the upper primary, we actually band the students and to give them better support throughout the 6 years.
Thank you, Rina. There is a question with regards to MOE kindergarten. Mrs. Chua, please.
Right. MK at Sembawang will operate on-site from 2022, which is next year. Currently, we are in the process of constructing the spaces to get ready for this MK to operate. We will begin with only K1 classes, and MK offered holistic curriculum in English and all 3 mother tongue languages in a spacious learning environment. So if you do have kids who are attending K1 soon, so I do encourage you to really find out more about MK and Sembawang, and I do hope to see your child in our school.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Chua, on your elaboration about MK kindergarten in our school. We are all quite excited about that. There is a question with regard to Psg. Tina, would you like to advise the parent?
All right. The question is about any minimum hours to be a Psg member. Okay, there are no minimum commitment hours required for involvement in Psg. Psg have various involvement opportunities to cater to parents' availability. So all working professionals or homemakers are welcome.
Okay, thank you. All right, there is a question on how the school has developed a student over the 6 years, and who better to answer this than our Seng Yi, student representative for today. Seng Yi.
Okay, I think that Sembawang Primary School had made me more confident, because when I first came to Primary 1, I was actually the only one that came here from my kindergarten. So naturally, I was very shy and very quiet, and I didn't really have many friends. But I met very nice teachers who were very encouraging and slowly became more confident. I started helping friends and teachers and became a prefect in Primary 4. This year, I have been elected as the head prefect of Sembawang Primary School. It is a start of another journey on how to be a good leader. And again, I'm very lucky to be receiving constant guidance and support from my teachers and my peers. Throughout the 6 years in Sembawang Primary School, I was given many opportunities to join external events and competitions, like the yearly Chinese calligraphy competition organized by Hongwen School, Destination Imagination, where I learned how to fly a drone, and also Math Olympiad. These opportunities allowed me to pick up new skills and expose me to new experiences.
Thank you, Seng Yi. Mrs. Chua, there is a question on HBL and the school policy with regards to this. Would you like to share?
Sure. Right. With regard to home-based learning, or what we affectionately known as HBL, at the present moment, there is no plan to set aside certain day within a week, for whole school to go on a HBL. So, however, because of our experiences with HBL, we have actually learned the benefits of our students blending their learning, between learning online as well as the face-to-face interaction. So our teachers have experimenting, with blended learning at various subject level. And one of the strategy they have used is actually on flip learning, where the student learn the concept online through the SLS, and then when they are in school, they will either participate in certain activities to reinforce the learning or to expand the learning concept. So I will probably pass the time to Mrs. Pang, who can share with you a little bit more about what we do in HBL.
Okay. For HBL, the school has actually have plans to move it into our after-school curriculum on days where we are unable to conduct remedial for the students due to the after-school programs. So for every subject, there's plan to assign them HBL work, all right, on at least one day of each week, yeah, so that students still get to visit the SLS and learn online. And thereafter, when they are back in school, the class can have deeper conversation on what they have learned. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'll just add on a little bit to what Rina has mentioned. We have had very, very positive experience with regards to HBL. And I must say that we are very proud of our lower primary children who have actually been able to access the curriculum and navigate the portal very well. I think we attributed this to the Psle program, where the students actually had an opportunity on hands-on opportunities to actually work on how to navigate the portal. So that has helped a lot and put all our kids at ease and making it a very meaningful experience for everyone. So we are actually quite happy about the HBL in the school. There is a question on whether is there a guarantee if I volunteer in the school for a Psg. Tina, would you like to take that on?
Sure. Current Sembawang Primary School doesn't have parent volunteer scheme, as we do not see a need to. Interested parents just need to choose to register their child with us in Phase 2C. So far, they are able to secure a place. However, do note that all this is subject to demand for Primary 1 places each year. For the past 2 years, we had balloting done at Phase 2C supplementary. I hope that helps.
Thanks, Tina. Next, we have actually a question with regards to the sensory path. Now, the sensory path is actually really unique to our school. It is a learning space that has been created and then for integration learning for English as well as PE. All right. So this one is unique to our school, and we have actually developed lessons using this sensory path. We want our children to learn beyond the classroom, and the sensory path is one way that we can actually do two things, which is one, integrate subjects as well as get children to experience learning through by experimenting and experiencing the different parts of the sensory path. All right, there is a question again with regards to kindergarten, Mrs. Chua.
Sure. All right. So is MOE kindergarten sharing the same space? No, they are not. They have two distinct space. The reason is because, the programs that are planned for the student care as well as the MOE kindergarten has to be age appropriate. So therefore, they do have their own space. Right. So, and whether do they get priority for P1 registration? Yes, for students who are who are in MK at Sembawang, I think in terms of the P1 registration, they are at a phase that is earlier than Phase 2C. So for more detail, I will encourage you to check out the MOE website on P1 registration.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Chua. There is a question with regards to coding and whether do students get to learn coding. May I invite Rina to share on this, please, Rina?
Okay. Now, in Sembawang Primary School, coding program is planned for all Primary 3 to Primary 6 students. The program, named Code at SBPS, is a 40-hour program spanning over 4 years, which aims to develop students' computational thinking through block programming. Code at SBPS is structured to be progressive and iterative so that it continues to challenge and develop students' computational thinking skills as they progress from Primary 3 to 6. For example, Primary 3 students will start with Lego blocks programming, where they'll observe their Lego machines come to life as a result of their coding. They will move on to more abstract coding in Primary 4 and 5 as they work on programming microbits, a mini computer that can be connected to various types of sensors. In Primary 6, on top of programming using a machine sphere called Sphero, they are also given a brief introduction to artificial intelligence, which offers them a glimpse of the potential of coding. At this point, probably I'll get Seng Yi to share his experience with learning coding in Primary 5 during ELW.
I think that the coding was actually very fun because we get to try out new things instead of just sitting in the classroom and learning about math, science, English, and mother tongue. So it gives me a sense of achievement when my code actually works. And even if it doesn't work, it gives me motivation to want to see it work. So I will have the resilience to continue and try until it works.
Thank you, Seng Yi and Rina, for your elaboration on coding. I'm sure it is a program that everyone is looking forward to. All right. There is a question on student care matters. Maybe Mrs. Chua, you would like to elaborate on that?
Okay. We do have a school-based student care that is residing in the school campus. And in short, we call it the SCC. So SCC is operated by vendor, resides within the school campus. And for those who are interested to place your child in SCC, so after your child is formally admitted to the school, we can help by linking you up with the service provider to inquire more information as well as the registration process. All right. So perhaps I move on to take on the next question that is regarding the PSLE. And I'm quite sure you have actually read from the press that this year, it's the first year that PSLE has undergone a major change, and instead of the T-score system, it will be taking on a new PSLE scoring system. And I think the aim behind this new scoring system is to reduce the fine differentiation at a young age and to recognize students' level of achievement regardless of how their peers have done. So instead of the T-score, students with similar scores in each subject will be grouped into a wider band measured in 8 achievement levels, or what we call the 8 ALs. So, and again, unlike the T-score system, students' AL for each subject will reflect their level of achievement rather than how they have performed relative to their peers. So, for example, students scoring a grade marks of 85 to 89 will score a AL2. And the PSLE score range from 4 to 32, with 4 being the best. So students with this will be placed in the various secondary school, whether it's express, normal acad, or normal technical. So with regards to how our students has fared, in the past, majority of our students actually make it to secondary school, and especially for those who do 4 standards, almost 100%, in some years, 100% of them do proceed to secondary school, and about 60% of them will move on to express course. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Chua. Okay, the next question is on Math Toolkit. And we are very happy to have Mrs. Pang, our Math HOD, to talk to us about our Math Home Kit. Mrs. Pang, please.
Hi. Our Math Home Kit is a program meant for the primary 2. All right. It's not meant for all students. So right now we start with the primary 2 level. So it's to support the weaker learners in math. So this program, there's another objective. Okay, for this Math Home Kit program, we'd like the students to work with their parents at home. Okay. So they also build their family bond at the same time to do math together, right, while bonding. So we have received overwhelming response from both parents, and the kids have mentioned that they love this doing these activities with their parents at home. All right. So we're looking into expanding this program to other levels.
Yes, I'm sure this the program actually brings about joy of learning for the students. So perhaps maybe we can extend this further. How does the school actually provide the joy of learning for students? Ms. Chong, would you like to elaborate on that?
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Ratna. So learning is made fun by a number of ways. So let me share by sharing with you about music learning in the school. So music learning in school is fun and experiential and hands-on. So students get the opportunity to learn different instruments such as keyboard, ukulele, recorder, and percussion instruments during music lesson. So the exposure to a variety of instruments also develop our students' musicianship, which will serve as a foundation for them to pursue their music passion further if they are interested later on in their life. And maybe Ms. Pang can add on in terms of the instructional programs.
Okay, sure. Well, in Sembawang Primary School, we strive to create an environment and school programs that will bring about joy in learning. So we do so through a few approaches. Firstly, we make school spaces inviting. Over the last few years, we are slowly enhancing the learning spaces in school. We have revamped our eco garden and school library. Last year, new learning spaces have been added to provide opportunity for our students to better understand science concepts such as adaptation and conversion of energy. The sensory path is another learning space where students get to integrate English language with PE lessons to enhance their learning experience. Secondly, we create platforms for our students to showcase their work. We are slowly changing the format of Sembawang Bus, where we hope to create more opportunities for the students to publish their work. And lastly, we allow students to get out of classrooms to learn. Through many out-of-classroom learning experiences, our students learned through fun and authentic settings. Many of such activities are featured on this publication.
Thank you, Rina. There is a question on HBL. Mrs. Chua, would you like to take that up?
Okay. All right. I think first and foremost, HBL is really implemented because of the national posture, with regards to the COVID situation. So the first time full HBL was being implemented was last year, when the COVID cases in Singapore has heightened. So and therefore, HBL really is in place, really motivated from the well-being and safety concern. So with that, setting the stage for why HBL was implemented, so therefore, when we do not encourage students to come to school, because that would mean that we are gathering people. So, but we do recognize that there are families, that there are parents that require support. Maybe because the families, both parents are working, and there's no care arrangement. So, whenever that situation happens, parents can always contact the school, and we do make arrangement for these students to be back in school. And at times, I think we do have students that really HBL is not the best way to support their learning, because they are struggle learners, and they do need somebody to provide that face-to-face explanations as well as teaching. So these are the students that we do call them back, to school as well. So when that happens, we are very, very strict with our safe management measure to make sure that the safety and well-being of our students as well as staff are not compromised. Yep. So I hope I've answered your question.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Chua. There is a question on the benefits of joining Psg. Tina, please.
All right. Psg is short for Parent Support Group. It's basically a parents network which help parents journey together with our children throughout their 6 years of primary life. Psg in Sembawang Primary School is a big family where parents also help other parents during their school life. For example, our Psg family form level chat groups to provide latest updates on school happenings, and also help to share links of individual classes whereby parents can create individual class chat groups and join. These chat groups are useful and helpful when parents need to check on matters regarding homework or items to bring to school. So do join Psg if you all can. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tina. Indeed, we strongly encourage as many of you as possible to join the Psg. The more, the merrier. All right. There's a question with regards to allocation of classes. Okay, Mrs. Chua, please.
All right. So, okay, I assume you're talking about the allocation of classes at P1 and P2 level. Okay, so at P1 level, the allocation broadly by a few broad principles. Number one is equal gender distribution, and number two is equal racial distribution. So, and these are the two broad principles that we use to distribute the students, and every P1 classes, like what Ms. Ratna has explained to you, has a class size of between 30 to 32. So next year, we will have 6 classes of P1 with a total enrollment of 190. Yeah. So, and for P1, it's an en bloc promotion to P2. And the reason behind that is because so that our teachers, the subject teachers as well as form teachers, can follow up with the child for at least 2 consecutive years. This will allow the teachers and the student to build a strong relationship and strong rapport, which will enhance the learning for your child. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, there's a question on the P1 orientation. How do we go about doing it? Of course, there are two phases. The first part of the orientation is to orientate the parents to the school. All right, so we will be inviting parents over, where we actually get parents to understand the whole structure of the school, the goals and all that, so that we will speaking the same language in terms of educating your child. There is also another part where it is the students' part, and we actually this year we started by taking 1 week off of the curriculum, the first week, to actually settle the students in the classroom. We call this the onboarding program for primary 1, and during this period of time we do not work on the curriculum straight away. What we have done is that we have focused on social skills and things that the students need to know in order to settle down better. So that's how we have actually worked it up for this year. Okay, I hope I've answered that part. What are is there a limit to student care? Mrs. Chua?
Okay, yes, there is a limit to the student care. The capacity at the present moment is 180. We do give priority to lower primary, and generally also because as the child get older, especially at upper primary P5, P6, they have more after school activities, and generally they are older, so sometimes the parents also do not see a need for them to attend the after school care. So and the admissions to the student care is not on the first come first serve basis. So usually the service provider will take in all the registration, and then they will discuss with the school, and we will really rank them by needs, the orders of needs, and priority will be given to families that are of higher needs, and requiring the service. Okay.
Okay, there's also a question with regards to the measures implemented in the school to ensure safety of all children and staff from COVID-19. Definitely, we work with the what has been stipulated in terms of ensuring safety. We do have a lot of programs in the sense that we get students to understand their part that they have to play to keep safe. Therefore, during recess, we have actually staggered the recess. So every half an hour break is allocated to just one level. So in that way, we minimize the intermingling. And then we also have got wipe down practices, which we have inculcated in our students to ensure that they keep safe at all times. So in terms of management of crowd, we also ensure that there is decongestion, and therefore sometimes we stagger in terms of the recess, we stagger the dismissal as well, so as to ensure that there is a decongestion. All right.
Right. So I will add on to what Ms. Ratna has shared. The principle behind safe management measure is on the emphasis on the importance of social responsibilities. So with that in mind, so other than safe distancing, wearing of masks, all staff and students are reminded to stay away from school when they're unwell, wipe down routines, and the inculcations of good habits such as regular hand washing with soap and water. So there are also a set of very specific instruction on SMM in the classroom and in the canteen, outdoor activities, etc., which are very much in line with the national posture. So from time to time, we will tighten the measure, and from time to time, we will loosen the measures, and all this is in response to whatever is at the national level.
Okay, we have a question on thinking critically. Mrs. Pang, would you like to elaborate on this?
All right. In our school, learning, we do not just confine it to the four walls in the classroom. So, for example, to get students to think critically, in the learning of English, it has gone beyond the use of textbooks onto more hands-on learning. So there's drama-infused strategies that ignite pupils' creativity and promote effective communication skills. Learning journeys, before COVID, okay, we have theatrical experience for them. However, now we move on to the Zoom platform. All right. So The sensory path is also a learning space to integrate psychomotor skills with language learning for the lower primary. And in the learning of math, they are also exposed to experiential learning topics like mass, volume, and shapes at the lower primary around the school. Okay, so for them to experience real-world context and to apply what they have learned in class. There are also opportunities for them to work with their classmates in solving and presenting authentic problems. So manipulatives are also used to strengthen their understanding of mathematical concepts. To add on, learning in Sembawang Primary School is not confined to the four walls. We have learning centers such as Heritage Corner, Eco Garden, and Sensory Path, where students are brought to these places for their learning. We also write on events such as Total Defense Day, Racial Harmony Day, World Water Day, and so on to conduct recess activities for our students to participate in.
Yeah, adding to what Mrs. Pang has just said, I think for the students in the school, we have an experiential learning week where teachers actually design packages that encourage children to think critically beyond and then imbuing skills that are found in the 21st century. And then we inculcate that as much as possible into the learning packages as well. All right, there is a question with regards to keeping parents informed of news and information about the school faculty. Mrs. Chua?
Right. I think that's a very good question. Communication is indeed key. So, and we do reach out to parents via the various means. Number one is the twice a term open letter from school leaders. Through these letters, in fact, this letter, you can actually view all the letter that we have sent to the parents, on our school website. So we inform parents of the upcoming events as well as some information that is important to them. And we also celebrate the successes of both the students and staff, in the open letter. And number two is that our form teachers at the start of the year will send out welcome letters to the parents, informing them about introducing the subject teachers as well as various means they can reach out to them. And what are some of the important informations that they should take note of, for the child. Other communication platforms include our student handbook via email as well as the Parents Gateway. And in fact, for the Parents Gateway, I would really strongly encourage all parents to sign up and log in to the Parents Gateway to be informed, because we do not send out hard copies letters anymore. Everything is sent via the PG, the Parents Gateway. So on top of that, we also have at least twice a term formal meet the parent sessions. We call it the parent-teacher conferencing or parent-child-teacher conferencing, which is held usually in May and in November. And last but not least is, of course, the ongoing meetings and communication where necessary.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Chua. The next question is directed at Seng Yi. Seng Yi, are the teachers here very fierce? Perhaps you can share that with us. Thank you, Seng Yi.
I think that the teachers here, some are fierce and some are not fierce. But I think that the reason why they are fierce is because they want the students to understand the topics and also to listen in class so that they can understand the topic better. The teachers here, they make sure that the students understand the concepts of a lesson well before moving on to the next topic. So even though they are very fierce, but they are also very open to any questions and will try their best to answer and clear any doubts that the students have. And they also try their best to help students who might not have they might want to help students who might not have any tuition classes so that they can better understand the topics and not rely on the other tuition.
Thank you, Seng Yi. Due to time constraint, we will be able to take one more question. We sincerely apologize if we are not able to respond any further queries at this platform. Nonetheless, we will take on your questions and respond to them via the school's e-Open House website. The last question is there a staggered period for the start of school or singing of national anthem? All right, perhaps Mrs. Chua, you'd like to take on this last question?
All right. So the staggerings of starting of school, the school follow the instruction, from MOE, and again, in response to the national posture at that point in time. So just like this year in term 3, there was a stagger start, where the P4 to P6 started school as usual, and P1 to P3 started with HBL and only come into school physically from week 2. So with regards to singing of the national anthem, we still have our national anthem and pledge taking ceremony every morning because this is a very important practice as well as activities to really inculcate in our student the love for the nation. So, however, because of this COVID situation, the students are all masked up, and then they are encouraged to just sing very softly. Yeah. So recess, like what Miss Ratna has shared earlier, the recess is actually conducted by the level, so there is no intermingling across the level, and each level has the whole canteen to themselves, so which does allow us to kind of space them out a little bit more. Yeah. So dismissal time is slightly staggered. Even though the actual dismissal time is all at 1:30. So the P1 and P2 leave their classroom slightly earlier before 1:30. So at 1:30, they will be all out of the school. Whereas the mid-primary and the upper primary are slightly later. Okay, so I think the message behind the whole thing really is about the safety and the well-being of our staff and students. So whatever we do, we anchor that as our priority focus. Okay, thank you for joining us for this live chat this morning.
Thank you. We have come to the end of the session. We would like to thank all colleagues who have worked very hard behind the scene to make this possible, and panel members for responding to all the queries, especially to Madam Tina and Seng Yi for sharing their perspective. Thank you to everyone who has joined us this morning and for the questions that you have posted. We hope you have gotten to know the school a little better, and we look forward to the next session. From all of us in SBPS, thank you. Keep safe and stay safe.